I pursued campus belle Catherine for 2 years, suffering 16 brutal rejections. Not only was my reputation ruined, making me the laughingstock of the entire school, but I also nearly lost my life. During my final romantic confession under artificial rainfall, she looked down at me with disdain. "Antonio, stop dreaming. I'd rather die than be with you." That night, dead drunk, I summoned the system. I surrender. Go ahead, punish me. Losing 50 years of life is still better than being erased. Yet in the very next second, the system issued a prompt. Host S rage meter detected at maximum capacity, target automatically switched for host. The next instant, Catherine S roommate shyly tugged at my sleeve. One eye sat in the Lamborghini S seat and sighed. The phone screen reflected a handsome face, such superior, chiseled features. Why did Catherine have to dislike me so much? I worked out regularly and maintained a strict diet, achieving a model-perfect physique. My phone kept vibrating in my pocket. I took it out and unlocked it. I know this guy. He's a bit stubborn in the head, a rich second-generation heir. He spent hundreds of thousands setting up a confession scene only to get slapped in the face with a bouquet by that girl. A winner in life, his dad a company CEO, his mom a wealthy lady. Instead of living properly, he insists on being a simp. I heard this was his 16th confession attempt. How absurd. Who posted footage of me confessing to Catherine online again? Clicking the comments button, all 1,000+ messages were just jokes mocking me. What shattered me even more was a photo my friend sent over. Catherine was holding hands with another guy, the two of them crossing the zebra crossing side by side, her smiling brightly. And I recognized that guy, Benjamin, her childhood sweetheart, who once saved her life. A year ago, Benjamin fell seriously ill and was on the verge of death. It was I who arranged a private jet to send him abroad for treatment. Truth be told, I should have been secretly delighted that he was dying. But Catherine wept so bitterly, her face streaked with tears, her eyes hollow. "Benjamin, you were the one who saved me from drowning. You told me to live well and repay you. You can't leave me alone like this." From the moment he was wheeled into the intensive care unit, Catherine kept vigil outside for 3 days and 3 nights, her mind in a daze. I was truly afraid she might follow him to the grave. After all, if she died, I'd have no one left to pursue, and the system would erase me too. Even if Catherine held on and didn't take her own life out of love. Benjamin, as the deceased white moonlight, would see his emotional lethality skyrocket by 99, making it harder for me to pursue her in disguise. So I waved my hand grandly. "Make it happen." Unfortunately, she not only didn't thank me for this, but became even colder. "Saving him was your own decision. If you're trying to use this to coerce me into anything, you might as well give up now." I never had such thoughts after all the system's evaluation criteria required her to genuinely fall for me. So I competed with Benjamin fairly. Why couldn't I, a wealthy outsider, win against a childhood friend? Until I saw the photo of their intertwined hands, smiling radiantly. A tidal wave of emotions surged within me as I made my decision. "Don't send it, bro. Turn the page. I'd rather die than simp for her again." He quickly replied, "Well, said I'll pretend I never saw this." I found a bar and sat down. The more I drank, the angrier I got. The more I drank. Finally, Catherine's image surfaced in my mind. Her soft, alluring lips, her cool and delicate face, her graceful figure, with every curve perfectly defined, utterly captivating. God knows how fast my heart raced when I first saw her. The colder she was, the more I longed to get close. How grateful I was that her name was the one written as my conquest target. What a pity. Immediately, I dizzily summoned the system and poured out all the grievances and critical hits I had endured during this time. Finally, I threatened it. "If I fail the mission, you won't fair. Well, either will you deduct your performance or send you back for a rebuild anyway. I don't care. It's just 50 years of lifespan, right? It's not like I don't have any." Little did I know, just before I collapsed onto the sofa, I heard the system prompt. Host S rage level detected at maximum, target automatically switch for host. 3 the next day, I woke up on the floor of a luxurious garage. The old butler stood by my side with thoughtful concern. "Young master, the boss says you're too embarrassing and 1 tea allow you home for now." I got up, rubbing my throbbing temples, and asked out of habit, "Any news about Catherine today? Did she eat the breakfast we prepared? Did she eat much?" The weather forecast says it'll rain and turn cold today. If she goes out, arrange the chauffeur and remember to turn up the car's heater. Send me her class schedule, arrange a few accidental encounters, and get the stylist to see me immediately. She's been binge watching that drama. Lately, style my hair like the male lead S. The old butler coughed awkwardly and stammered apologies. "Young master, but that 1 TB possible today. The boss has frozen all your supplementary cards. He said if you keep simping for Miss Catherine, you'll have to take your household register and change your surname." I was shocked. "Wait, didn't you tell the old man that I'll die if I can't marry Catherine? Does he really want to bury his own son?" The butler replied stiffly, "I did." He said, "You're always fooling around with love affairs, but 2 days without money will bring you back to your senses." My head instantly started throbbing. A failed conquest would cost me 50 years of lifespan. What is even more terrifying is that I don't even know if I can live another 50 years. No way, I still have so much money left to spend. When I summoned the system to find solution, I suddenly discovered the target's name had changed. Evelyn Catherine's roommate 4. At this moment, the system began muttering, "Quietly, host, you've sobered up. Since you cursed too viciously yesterday, the system detected your rage meter was maxed out, thus triggering the one-time opportunity to change targets. Evelyn is beautiful, kind-hearted, innocent, adorable, and possesses exceptional business talent destined to become a female CEO. In the future, host, this is your final chance. Seize it well, another failure will result in system termination. P.S. Please don't file a complaint against me." Well, changing targets actually upgraded my punishment, but as long as it's not Catherine, I'm finally free with a new target to pursue who still go after her. 5. I started recalling everything I knew about Evelyn. I've indeed seen her a few times. After all, she attended the same university as me and even shared a dorm room with Catherine. During the school term, there was heated debate about whether she or Catherine was the campus belle. One was an aloof beauty with long black hair, while the other was a cute and innocent girl with a high ponytail. But to gain favorability points, I spent money to boost Catherine's popularity, which is how she won the title of campus belle. To my surprise, she looked displeased and publicly stated, "I, Catherine, have nothing to do with him. It's all his wishful thinking." Yet Evelyn never took this matter to heart. Her face always wore an indifferent expression, as if nothing in this world could matter to her. Once I waited for Catherine downstairs at the dormitory. Evelyn came trotting down from upstairs, carrying a basket of food in both hands. All of it was prepared by renowned chefs. I had hired dishes completely customized to Catherine's tastes. At the time, I was still fuming as I questioned Evelyn about why the food was in her hands. Her face flushed crimson as she stammered. "Catherine said she was coming back to the dorm today and told me to throw these meals away, but it seems such a waste, so could I eat them? If not, could I at least feed them to stray kittens?" My mind wasn't on this at all. All I could think about was where the hell Catherine had run off to. I casually brushed her off with a few words, only remembering her softly saying thank you as I turned to leave. Because her voice was so pleasant, soft, and sweet without being cloying, it carried a refreshing comfort that warmed the heart. The second time was at a concert when a popular singer came to our city for a performance. Of course, it was Catherine's favorite idol. She hesitated and was reluctant to accept the concert tickets I gave her. The condition she finally agreed to was that I take all the girls from her dorm along. As long as money could solve it, it wasn't a big deal. The music was deafening and the excited cheers echoed in my ears. Amidst the gentle melody of a love song, I discreetly took Catherine's hand in mine. She didn't pull away. I was secretly thrilled. Just before the music ended and the lights came on, Evelyn's soft voice spoke up. "Excuse me, your hand is too warm. Could you let go for a moment?" My expression froze after a brief silence. I awkwardly released her hand. In the darkness, I had made a blunder. That night at the concert was my 15th confession. I even spent money and pulled strings to have the singer invite me on stage, planning to declare my love under the gaze of her idol. But when the singer called my name, Catherine had already hurriedly left the venue. I rushed out to find her, only for her to slap me across the face with an icy voice. "Antonio, stop licking your wounds. Could you stop embarrassing yourself? Even if you went on stage, I wouldn't agree to be with you." She paused and sighed. "I just want to focus on completing my university courses and graduate smoothly. No matter how much you do for me, my heart won't flutter for you. We were never meant to walk the same path." For a moment, I felt as if an ice pick had pierced my heart. But I swallowed my sorrow, forced a smile, and cracked a cold joke to break the awkwardness. "It's fine, I can wait. Even if my heart shatters into a QR code, what scans out will still be I love you." 6. The car arrived at the school, and the old butler uneasily advised me. "Young master, feelings cannot be forced. Miss Catherine isn't worth wasting any emotions on, not even anger." I grinned. "Don't worry, I won't do it anymore." He froze for a moment, then sighed, clearly unconvinced. After getting out of the car, I saw Benjamin and Catherine chatting and laughing together at the school gate. When they noticed me, Benjamin calmly let go of Catherine's hand. "Good morning, young master." Antonio Benjamin was a head shorter than me, probably not even reaching 1.8 meters. Having just recovered from a serious illness, his face still looked somewhat pale. "Are you recovered?" He nodded yes. "It was you, Master Antonio, who saved my life. And then you come back to steal my woman. It wasn't saving you. I just advanced the medical fees for you. The money must be repaid slowly." After I finished speaking, Benjamin's face darkened. "Catherine, was it you who borrowed the money from Master Antonio for him?" Catherine frowned slightly and didn't respond. Instead, she looked at me with confusion. "I usually don't mention money, so they just assumed they pay out of pocket." It wasn't her, Benjamin. "The agreement signed abroad included a loan contract. Don't you recognize English?" His face flushed crimson as he turned to Catherine for help. I remember that string of numbers converted. "It's 169 million renminbi. Catherine got straight to the point, sneering as she questioned me. "Enough, Antonio. What conditions do you want to bring up this time, speak? I answered truthfully, debts must be repaid. That is only right, Benjamin. Do you want to be a deadbeat? Benjamin trembled. And no, young master Antonio, I'll find a way to pay you back. Finally, unable to bear it any longer, Catherine shielded the feeble Benjamin behind her. I'll pay for him. Please don't bother him anymore. Fine, transfer 100,000 first. I'm a bit tight on cash lately. After all, because of Catherine, my father froze all my supplementary cards, leaving me completely broke now. As I held out my payment QR code, a flicker of confusion passed beneath Catherine's perpetually unreadable expression. Give me a few days anyway, I'll get the money together for you. TCH, I snorted, disdainfully waved my hand, and walked into the school. 7 after waiting the cafeteria entrance for what felt like ages, I finally caught sight of Evelyn. She was wearing an oversized, ill-fitting padded coat, her pupils bright as she walked with her head down, sometimes frowning, sometimes lightly biting her lip. She looked deeply preoccupied with something. I quickly walked up to her and greeted her with a smile. Evelyn, have you had breakfast yet? She blinked, her expression blank. What, I don't know where Catherine is. I raised an eyebrow. Why does she seem a bit afraid of me? I adjusted my expression again and replied, gently, I wasn't asking about her. I was asking you, let us have breakfast together. The next second, she looked at me pitifully. Can I say no? Of course not. I grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the cafeteria. Evelyn was slender, and holding her fingers required almost no effort at all. Who knows what nutrient-deficient things she eats all day. I frowned at the breakfast options by the window. What would you like? I'll go queue up. She replied immediately, just a steamed bun and a regular soy milk will do. Is this all the breakfasts I used to prepare for Catherine were bird's nest porridge or crab roast soup dumplings with cordyceps? Occasionally, I change it up with Australian beef noodles or fresh blue crab noodles. Catherine initially refused, but later succumbed to the temptation of gourmet food and silently accepted. Not only did she accept the breakfast I delivered, she even started nitpicking, complaining the porridge was cold or the soup dumplings tasted fishy. So I had the kitchen team change the menu, but she bluntly said the soup dumplings were still better. After all this back and forth, I still don't understand what she actually likes to eat. When asked, she'd only reply, it's just okay. Now, standing in line with Evelyn, I pointed decisively, 2 custard buns, 2 shumai, 2 tea eggs, and 2 red bean soy milks, please. The cafeteria lady responded, busily swipe your card. I pulled out my bank card only to realize with a start that my account had been frozen. Damn it, I'm about to embarrass myself in front of my target. Annie, can you put on my tab? I'll have someone bring you the money this afternoon. The cafeteria lady immediately shot me a strange, yet slightly concerned look. Then the people around me also stared at me in surprise. The atmosphere turned awkward as everyone fell silent. Beep. Evelyn took out a cute card from her pocket to pay, then grabbed the breakfast with one hand while tugging at my sleeve with the other to lead me away. You need a meal card for the cafeteria. After sitting down, she muttered softly, wanting to see my embarrassment but not daring to look at me. Of course I know, how could I not know? I just haven't been here in a while, so I forgot to bring it. She kept her head down eating without responding to me. Evelyn's beautiful eyes narrowed as she ate, looking thoroughly delighted. I picked up a custard bun, too, finding it slightly cool to the bite. Not tasty, it's gone cold. No way, it's clearly delicious. Evelyn took another bite of the shumai, her eyes and brows radiating pure joy. My heart suddenly skipped a beat. Evelyn was actually kind of adorable. Suddenly, Catherine's icy voice rang out, Antonio, what are you doing here? I looked up and saw that she and Benjamin happened to be sitting not far away. I froze for a few seconds, my gaze locking onto those exquisite breakfast baskets on the table. This is something I paid a top chef to carefully select ingredients for Prepare Cook and then rushed to campus by private car just for her to eat. I've already paid for the annual subscription. I stood up and collected all the unopened breakfast baskets, saying calmly, these are things I paid for, but they were delivered to the wrong place. Honestly, how do you even have the nerve to eat them? Catherine's face instantly turned cold after being rebuked. Stop messing around. Benjamin is still in recovery and needs nutritional supplements. I let out an O and looked up at her. You can find your own ways to nourish him. What's the meaning of eating my family's food? The classmates eating breakfast nearby started murmuring and gossiping. Did I hear that right? Was that Antonio speaking just now? Right, the simp seems to have hit rock bottom and bounced back. Girls, the opportunity has arrived. I'd be willing to suddenly gain 100 million and date young Master Antonio, even as a substitute would do. Benjamin stood up, his face showing remorse. Young Master Antonio, my apologies. I didn't realize it was you who sent Catherine her breakfast. Benjamin, there's no need to apologize to him. Catherine stood up with a stern face and looked at me. Enough, Antonio. Stop constantly trying to get our attention, will you? I gave her a brief glance, not bothering to respond. With a cheerful grin, he opened the basket, releasing all its fragrant aromas. I placed it before Evelyn, speaking gently, Evelyn, try some quickly. Evelyn didn't dare move her chopsticks, her eyes flickering with what might have been delight or fluster. Catherine's clear voice held suppressed anger as she reminded me, Antonio, I'm talking to you. Now my attention remained entirely focused on Evelyn. Tried it still warm. Catherine stood nearby watching me, and her somewhat bewildered. This was the first time I completely and utterly ignored Catherine, no longer caring about her emotions or needs. Yet this seemed to ignite some sort of competitive spirit in her. Antonio, as long as you apologize properly to me today, I might consider forgiving you. Catherine's words left me utterly bewildered. Why should I apologize? The usually silent Evelyn suddenly spoke up for me. Catherine, you've rejected Antonio's confessions countless times, so why do you keep accepting his gifts and giving him hope? Evelyn, Catherine interrupted her unhappily. Don't you see that Antonio, a spoiled rich boy like him, has no idea how to respect people? He is clearly using you to provoke me on purpose. I sighed. Catherine, I'm not using Evelyn. You think too highly of yourself. You don't need to consider forgiving me either. Don't worry, I won't bother you anymore. Catherine's eyes gradually reddened as she instinctively turned her head away. Fine, you said it yourself. If you come looking for me again, I'll only think even less of you. With that, she took Benjamin's hand and left without looking back. I knew Catherine was truly angry, but I vaguely sensed that deep down she might care about me a little. Truth be told, at the very beginning, Catherine almost had a change of heart when faced with my passionate pursuit. It was New Year's Eve. Instead of spending it with my family, I chose to stay with Catherine on campus. When fireworks burst open in the silent night sky, blooming with colorful charm, her eyes were filled with surprise and joy. For the first time, she actively grabbed my sleeve and pointed at the sky. Antonio looked so beautiful. The atmosphere was just right, but when I tried to kiss her, she pushed me away again and refused. I still can't see your sincerity. I simply thought I wasn't trying hard enough, so I mustered all my strength to pursue her. Our school organized a mountain hike on that overcast rainy day. Catherine misstepped and was about to tumble down the slope. Fortunately, I caught Catherine in time, shielding her tightly in my arms as we rolled down together. Stars danced before my eyes, the pain making me grimace fiercely. As a result, I broke my right leg and was hospitalized for a month. She never once glanced at me. Later, I found out that she was in the same hospital, but she was too busy taking care of Benjamin. My friend told me she only agreed to be with Benjamin because he wrote her a love letter by hand. How about it? The guys all want to send you to the brain competition so you can rip open your love-struck brain and scare them to death. 10 after day of classes ended, I waited for Evelyn to come out of the classroom. She kept her head down, clutching her books, and dashed away so fast she disappeared in a flash. I remember the concert tickets. That time, they were mailed to her home by the official seller. So I had her home address buried somewhere in the chat history with Catherine. So he scraped together $200 in cash from the old butler, then pulled out another $1,000 from his briefcase and stuffed it into my hands. Young master, let us not see each other for a while. Stay in the school dormitory for now. When the boss cools off, I'll come take you home. I spent $900 on a box of yellow cherries as a gift. If it weren't for these special circumstances, things wouldn't be so shabby. Evelyn's home was in the old district where the mottled white walls bore the cracks of age. The buildings had a strong sense of history, with nearly half the nearby residents having already moved away. I knocked lightly. Evelyn's voice came from inside. Coming, just a moment, please. The door opened, and Evelyn froze for a moment. Senior you. Her hair fluttered in the evening sunlight, and she was still holding a bunch of unwashed green onions in her hand, their earthy scent drifting through the air. Thank you for speaking up for me. This morning, I bought you some fruit. I shook the bag in my hand. May I come in? She hesitated for a moment, but still invited me into her home. Though the exterior walls of the house looked somewhat worn, the interior was spotlessly clean and meticulously organized. Evelyn, is that your classmate? A middle-aged woman's voice came from inside the room, accompanied by the strong scent of herbal medicine lingering in the air. I responded loudly, yes, hello, Annie. Good hello to you too. Make yourself at home. Evelyn, there are peanuts in the cabinet. Take them out to treat your classmate. Evelyn obediently brought out a plate of roasted peanuts from the kitchen. Sorry, my mom has trouble with her legs and can't move around easily. Please have a seat. I'll get you some water. So she was in such a hurry to come back just to cook for her mother. While waiting outside, I chatted with her mother. During break, her mother spoke gently and warmly, though she seemed to have a cold, coughing occasionally. The courtship would definitely need to proceed slowly. I resolved to start by becoming friends with Evelyn first. After Evelyn finished cooking and brought the food inside, she rushed out again in a hurry. Thank you for the fruit, Senior Antonio. I have something to attend to, so I'll take my leave now. The corners of her lips curled into a smile, her eyes brimming with sincerity. I quickly grabbed her arm and asked, where are you going? Didn't you say you haven't had dinner yet? She patted the peanuts stuffed in her pocket. I've got peanuts to eat. Is this all you're eating? Can this stuff even count as a meal? She nodded, glancing anxiously at the time. Really can't talk now. The bus is about to arrive. With that, she dashed out through the hallway. Evelyn is truly busy. Can't she just pause for a moment to date someone? 11 standing here as a handsome living person, she genuinely showed no reaction. This time's initiative didn't bring me any closer to Evelyn at all. Wait, she s in such a hurry to go out. Could she have a boyfriend? My heart skipped a beat, and I immediately chased after her onto the bus. Pushed onto the bus by the crowd, an elderly woman pressed tightly against me from behind, her probing gaze traveling upward with a hint of shyness unbefitting her age. It made me unbearably uncomfortable. Using my height to my advantage, I forced my way through the packed crowd and grabbed the handrail above Evelyn. Evelyn, I called her name in a low voice. She didn't hear me over her white, wired earphones, her pure and gentle eyes fixed on the scenery outside the window. I was bewitched into raising my hand and lightly touching her shoulder. Evelyn suddenly turned her head, and at the very moment our eyes met, the bus driver slammed on the brakes, giving me an unexpected assist. She lost her balance and fell into my arms, a sweet, pleasant fragrance lingering around me. My voice tightened inexplicably as I reminded her, be careful. Evelyn's face flushed bright red. In an instant, thank you. I hastily took half a step back to maintain distance from her. In silence, she removed one earbud and glanced at me questioningly. I nodded and accepted the earbud. Outside the bus window, vehicles rushed past as the sunset gradually faded inch by inch. Apart from the music in my headphones, there's only the sound of my heartbeat. Handsome is my destiny, innocence is my nature. Following Evelyn out of the car, she directly rejected me. Sorry, Antonio Sr., I don't have time to help you investigate Catherine's affairs. I stared straight into her eyes. I wasn't thinking about asking her anything. Then why Evelyn stopped mid-sentence, falling silent as the tips of her ears turned crimson again. Today's attentiveness had worked, but fearing it might backfire, I didn't plan to reveal my intentions so soon. Reputation spreads far and wide for better or worse. Once a simp, now I'm chasing pure love. 12. This is my third week pursuing Evelyn. Working part-time with her at the drink shop, my main job is violently whacking lemon water. What, only 1,000 for wages? Are you kidding me? Totally devastated after working so hard for over 10 days. Is this all the money a college student gets from a part-time job? Evelyn took the money from me, tugged at my sleeve, and said softly, Senior Antonio, don't be angry. The boss even gave you an extra 200 as a bonus. I obediently shut my mouth. I've been getting much closer to her lately. Photos of me working part-time were posted online, and rumors spread that my family had gone bankrupt and I couldn't afford meals. Schadenfreude was rampant, with many praising Catherine for her foresight in saving herself and narrowly avoiding marrying into a fake wealthy family. I couldn't be bothered to explain. Fortunately, I performed well and had long since blocked Catherine. The old butler verified the facts and had already helped me submit a letter of forgiveness. Seeing my silence, Evelyn smiled faintly and brushed the snow off my shoulder. The money's in your pocket. It's cold outside. You should head back to the dorm early and rest. Evelyn, tomorrow night at 7 under the cherry blossom tree on campus. I'll be waiting for you. She quickly withdrew her hand, her face flushed red, and asked, what is it? My feelings, I want to tell you about them. Ambiguity permeated the air, spreading outward in delicate wisps. The blushing girl had already boarded the bus ahead of me. Back in the dorm, I took off my coat, and a wad of cash along with a Snickers bar fell from the pocket. I counted it over and over, exactly 1,500 yuan. Silly Evelyn, one tea, even buy herself an egg for breakfast, yet she's so generous with me. Suppressing my emotions, I hastily lowered my head and took out my phone to send a message. Brothers, it's time to put in the effort. 13. The evening breeze was gentle and winter mist filled the air. The school's South Cherry Blossom Grove was splashed with thick snow into a pristine white canvas adorned with multicolored rainbow lights. Beneath our feet lay a path neatly paved with petals. The air freighted 999 snow mountain roses appeared exceptionally beautiful against the backdrop of balloons. This romantic and luxurious scene took my friends and me an entire afternoon to arrange. The crowd of onlookers kept growing. A dozen bodyguards held people back, waiting only for today's leading lady to arrive. Brother Wolf Warrior, we're rooting for your confession to succeed today. Have you memorized your little essay? Will it be a miracle or Joker's diary? We'll see. Waves of unprecedented tension surged through my heart. Suddenly a woman barged into the confession scene, slowing her steps with pleasant surprise as she stopped before the roses. Damn it, why is Catherine here? What the hell are you doing here? The moment my impatient words left my mouth, cheers and teasing erupted from the crowd. Catherine's delicate oval face shimmered with emotion, her lips curling slightly. Antonio, I never imagined you'd work yourself to the bone just to earn money for confessing your feelings to me. The roses, I love them. I can see your sincerity. I raised an eyebrow and strode forward. Be together, say yes, say yes. The crowd around them joined in clapping rhythmically. Evelyn stood in the crowd at some point, absent-mindedly clapping along like a fool. Furious, I grabbed her and pulled her out of the crowd. Who the hell said, I was confessing to you? What are you so happy about? The moment these words were spoken, the surroundings suddenly fell into silence. 3 seconds later, she finally seemed to process it, meeting my gaze with visible confusion. Evelyn, I like you. I love the light in your eyes, your kindness, and everything about you. After speaking, I leaned down, pausing for a second before her lips, seeing the mist in her eyes and the flush rising on her cheeks. She didn't pull away that meant she wasn't refusing. Slowly, ever so slowly, I pressed my lips to hers. Soft yet cool to the touch, in that instant I forgot everything around me, driven only by the instinct to hold her tight. Tighter, tighter, she shyly tugged at my sleeve, and I instantly understood what she meant. Holding her hand, we weaved through the crowd, running across the snowy ground. My phone kept buzzing with messages. Antonio, Weavy, you got another one, cry in front of the roses here, what should we do? She made us call you, saying she'd wait here for you today, even if it kills her. Hey man, say something. She asked, Catherine, are you really just letting it go? 14, she obediently let me lead her as we ran, panting slightly. Senior, Antonio, I can't run anymore. Night had fallen and the alley was empty. Still calling me senior, I leaned down until our noses touched. The wet kiss in the darkness was a silent indulgence, the sound of gasping eroding my reason. After a while, Evelyn's eyes turned slightly red. Antonio, not tonight. I need to go home. All right, I'll walk you back along the way. I smiled silently, and she kept turning to look at me. What are you laughing about? I just felt happy when you throw caution to the wind for someone, and she responds to you with equal fervor. Though I could sense Evelyn's unease and hesitation, I believed that with time, I could show her my sincerity. After walking her to her doorstep, I kissed her cheek and said with a smile, Evelyn, I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. Her lips curved slightly, her gaze lingering. All right, I'll be waiting. Come in and have some hot tea. We all turned to see Evelyn's mother pushing a wheelchair at the doorway. This was my first time meeting her mother. She was gaunt, wearing a winter hat, her face pale. Evelyn, step aside for a moment. I need to speak with him. Her mother smiled, gently, full of kindness. Evelyn glanced at me hesitantly, and I signaled for her to relax. In the room, only her mother and I remained. Thank you for liking my Evelyn. Evelyn is a wonderful girl. Meeting her was my good fortune. I rubbed my nose, feeling somewhat guilty. After all, it had started as just a mission to complete. I know she struggled to stand up and reach for a book on the table. I caught her just in time, standing up, such a simple thing, yet even that brought a sheen of cold sweat to her forehead, draining what little color remained in her lips. The boy in the photo is you, it. Her mother pulled a photograph from the book. It was my back taken at the concert. At that moment, I was frantically searching for Catherine, who had run away. I nodded. Evelyn was so happy that day, jumping around the living room all night, listening to music. It had been so long since I'd seen her smile like that. Really, thank you again. She misunderstood my relationship with Evelyn at the time, and I didn't explain. Frowning at the cluster of medicine boxes on the nightstand, I asked, Annie, are you sick? She waved her hand, unwilling to discuss the topic. My question might be a bit abrupt, but will you marry Evelyn someday? Without hesitation, I replied, I will. Fate, what heaven arranges, is the greatest. This is the money I've saved for Evelyn, only $66,000. I hope the in-laws won't think it too little when the time comes. And this pocket watch belonged to Evelyn's father. Consider it his gift to you, his son-in-law. A sense of foreboding stirred within me, as if she was already certain she wouldn't live to see the day Evelyn married me. Does Annie really have that much faith in me? Before leaving, I hugged Evelyn. In her hurry to go brew medicine in the kitchen, she still found time to childishly flash me a heart sign. 15. The old butler finally brought me home. My father puffed on a fat cigar at his desk, removing his reading glasses. Let us not dwell on the past. I've had people clean up all those nasty comments online. From now on, I expect you to act like a man, focus on your studies and management responsibilities. Enough with this daily moping over love affairs. This embarrassing. Final stop, I'll just get married directly. After admitting my mistake, I finally regained my financial freedom. I slept soundly on the $1 million mattress. At dawn, the old butler's resigned voice slowly sounded in my ear. Young master Miss Catherine came knocking at 5 in the morning. I had her escorted to the first floor drawing room. It just occurred to me now about the text message my friend sent me last night. Last night, did Catherine cry after changing clothes? And coming downstairs, she stared blankly at the hot tea on the coffee table with a dazed expression. Is something wrong? She forced a faint smile. Were you with Evelyn yesterday? I nodded yes. Is that what this is about? What a letdown. I thought she was here to return the money. Just as that thought crossed my mind, she pulled out a stack of brand new bills from her bag. 100,000. I told you I'd gather the full amount for you. Truth be told, Catherine wasn't short on money. The jewelry I'd given her over these past 2 years alone had cost nearly $1 million. There's one more thing. A complex emotion flashed through her eyes as she looked into mine. Benjamin proposed to me. I casually pulled out 5 bills and handed them to her, a red envelope, wishing you a lifetime of happiness together. Antonio, her strained expression finally cracked at this moment, pleading, what about all those things you said before? Which ones? Made too many promises and sweet nothings. He had memorized stacks of A4 paper only to find it all useless when facing Evelyn. Those who truly cherish you don't need to hear flowery, superficial words. Everything lies in action. After a moment of silence, she seemed to reach a decision. Just say it properly one more time. Say it once more, and I'll reject Benjamin. Antonio, you succeeded. You used Evelyn to provoke me yesterday, and it hurt me deeply. As she spoke, she stepped closer, tilting her head up, cupping my face in her hand. Her gaze softened. Let us stop torturing each other. Okay, I'm tired. Hold me. I pushed her away, glanced at the time, and turned to the old butler. Is the car ready? I need to pick up Evelyn. 16. After getting in the car, the driver drove very slowly. Young master, should we turn around now to pick up Miss Catherine? I said no need, and that we needn't consider her anymore from now on. To outsiders, it seemed like I had pursued Catherine for 2 years, passionately, desperately, with all my heart and soul. Why did you suddenly give up? Probably because Benjamin would always show up whenever I was about to succeed. I was never the first choice in her heart, the one she'd stand firm for. She got used to it. The more shamelessly I pestered her, the harsher her scolding became, the more unrestrained she grew. The car pulled up beneath Evelyn's apartment building, and the driver opened the door for her. Good morning, Evelyn, she said, sitting in the car with a hint of restraint. Antonio, why would S wrong? I noticed her expression was unusually serious, more so than I'd ever seen before. Catherine, and I spoke on the phone. She said she was at your place last night. Antonio, I know you used me as a bargaining chip, and you won a bet. I won't scold you because I truly enjoyed the time we spent together, but from now on, let us not see each other anymore. With that, she turned her head away and reached for the car door handle. I grabbed her arm and pulled out the pocket watch from my coat. Even your mother has accepted me. Are you really going to push me away? Her eyes instantly reddened. Evelyn, I'm serious. I can swear an oath or post it on social media if you want. I gently pulled her into my embrace, holding her soft, fragrant warmth against me. I'm sorry I won't leave you alone anymore. Evelyn wrapped her arms around my waist, her scalding tears dripping into the hollow of my neck. I remembered what the old butler had said. Evelyn's father had passed away early, and the family was originally quite well off. Later, her mother contracted a terminal illness. She had considered ending her own life to leave the inheritance for Evelyn, ensuring her a stable life. Evelyn threatened her mother with her life after discovering the truth. Thus began the long treatment, despite the extremely low probability, despite nearly exhausting their savings. She worked part-time while studying and contacted hospitals abroad. All were rejection letters. No wonder she always looked exhausted and busy whenever I saw her before. But now she has me 17. 2 months later, at the graduation banquet, I received the $169 million debt repayment from Benjamin. Standing before me with his arm proudly around Catherine's waist, he no longer wore that timid, submissive demeanor from before. Our love story from junior high to university was full of twists and turns, but fortunately, we finally made it work. You must come and drink this wedding toast. Most classmates offered their blessings, though a few were quietly observing my expression. I stood the farthest away, smiling serenely. While Benjamin was chatting away with them, Catherine actually came over to my side. She clinked glasses with me. First, long time no see. I was somewhat puzzled. Such a cliche opener, so unlike you. Who knew the next second she leaned in closer and lowered her voice. Antonio, it's been 2 months already. Aren't you tired of this yet? I immediately understood her thoughts and said, frankly, sorry, but we're getting married. She froze for a few seconds, her hand holding the wine glass, trembling slightly. After taking a deep breath, Catherine's red lips curved into a smile. Antonio, stop joking. Consider you and her as punishment for my lack of resolve now. Aren't you going to comfort me? Though she was smiling, her tone carried a hint of pleading. I hadn't had time to respond when Benjamin walked up to me with a dark expression, and Catherine, losing control of her emotions, asked me loudly again, Antonio, are you really going to marry Evelyn? Say something where all those things you said before just lies to me. I don't believe it. I don't believe this is how we end up. You swore before the gods. She stared at me blankly, her bright eyes brimming with tears. Everyone turned to look at us. It's been over for a long time. My words were cut off by Benjamin's sudden punch. Before I could catch my breath, another kick came straight for my groin. I quickly dodged, landing on my thigh. Antonio, what the hell are you pulling? Who do you think you are? So impressive. Stop putting on airs, you poser. Benjamin's vicious gaze fell upon me. I instantly exploded with rage, lunging up to grapple with him. But he seemed prepared, directly pulling out a baseball bat from the table and swinging it fiercely at my head. In the struggle, my back took a heavy blow. The pain made my whole body writhe on the ground. The scene descended into chaos, but no one dared to restrain the enraged Benjamin. Catherine was crying beside him, begging him to stop. He curled his lips. Get the hell out of here. He brought this on himself today. Catherine never agreed to be with you before, and she never will. She's mine. He rolled his neck and took aim at my head again. He's insane. Benjamin gone mad. The moment the blow descended, a swift figure threw themselves over me as a shield. Evelyn, 18, I heard her agonizing scream. At that moment, I no longer cared about the pain in my body. Frantically, scrambling up to grab Benjamin. In that instant, I lost all reason. Gritting my teeth, each punch landed with brutal force. It wasn't until several people pulled me away that I came to my senses and carried Evelyn to the hospital. Fortunately, Evelyn only suffered minor injuries. At the moment the iron rod swung down, Catherine grabbed Benjamin's arm, lessening the force of the blow. Nevertheless, I hired the best lawyer. Benjamin sat in the interrogation room, baring his teeth in a grin as he smiled at me. I thought I would die that way, in Catherine's heart, I would always be number one. You just had to play the savior with your high and mighty attitude, then steal my woman, pa. Get lost, she's my woman. She can only be mine. Then the light in his eyes dimmed again. Catherine loves me. How could she not love me otherwise? She wouldn't have sold everything to help me raise that $169 million. She said giving me $169 million means we should never meet again. How can years of feelings be bought with money? She was about to accept my proposal. It must still be you manipulating things. Revive me, use me, move her, then win her over. Isn't it? While he was talking to himself, I had already left. Catherine sat on the chair outside, her expression grave. It's all what I deserve. You should go. I glanced at her. She might have her reasons, but I didn't want to hear them anymore. Antonio, she called out to me again as I stepped across the threshold. I'm sorry, the truth is I like you too. The voice was faint, indistinct, just like her attitude toward me had once been elusive and uncertain. 19 Evelyn lay beside me with her eyes closed, tear stains still visible on her face. I tucked her in and glanced at the plane's arrival time. Yesterday, we received news that her mother's treatment abroad wasn't going well, even causing severe adverse reactions. The doctor said it seemed she had already given up. At this moment, Evelyn and I were still on the plane, the atmosphere somewhat heavy. I touched the diamond ring on my ring finger, comforting her. Evelyn, cheer up, we're almost there. Her beautiful face was half hidden by long wavy hair, revealing only a delicate jawline and the graceful curve of one side of her face. Antonio, I'm so scared mommy will turn into a star. As the words left her lips, silent tears fell once more. No, she won't. Isn't there anything in this world that can cure terminal illness? If there were, I'd give my life. I quickly covered her mouth. Honey, don't say such things. After getting off the plane, we rushed straight to the hospital without stopping. At the hospital room door, Evelyn gripped my hand tighter and tighter, until my mother-in-law stood there looking perfectly healthy, smiling as she greeted us. She covered her mouth in surprise, then quickly embraced her mother-in-law. I clicked the comments button, over 1,000 mocking jokes aimed at me. She wailed like a child, tears streaming down her face. The doctors nearby exchanged glances, all finding it utterly unbelievable. Only the system's cold voice prompted. Romance mission completed. According to host's selection, the reward of one terminal rebirth opportunity has been forfeited and replaced with restoring a specified individual's health. Reward distribution detected as complete. The romance system will now unbind. Wishing the host a pleasant life. 3, 2, 1. Sunlight streamed through the window, casting golden rays upon Evelyn as she held her mother-in-law. The two clung to each other, unwilling to let go. Evelyn smiled through tears, her lips curling into a blissful grin. I quietly stretched out my hand and formed a heart shape for her. But she suddenly spoke up. Honey, come here too. Got at the end.